It is 10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there, and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to our second and final edition of News Tonight, this Monday, the 20th day of March 2023. And these are our top stories. In our news headlines, police advises the public on court judgment against the Public Order Management Act. Lands and Housing Minister Judith Nabakooba intervenes in Kansanga and Chibiri land wrangles. FDC opposes decision of Bank of Uganda Deputy Governor's signature on currency notes. And in sports, Uganda's men's cricket team raced to their second tour win against hosts Qatar. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged the people of Somalia to consider building a people's national army with the correct ideology of defending their country in order for peace to prevail. This was during a meeting with the visiting president of the Federal Republic of Somalia, His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who paid a courtesy visit on him at State House in Entebbe before returning to Somalia.
According to President Museveni, like the Uganda People's Defense Forces, an army should be built on voluntarism to protect the state. He added that this will enable Somalia, which is 3 times bigger than Uganda, to recruit enough manpower to defend and liberate the country. The visiting president of the Federal Republic of Somalia, His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who finished his tour of duty in Uganda on Monday, informed General Museveni that because of the peace ushered in by the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, Somalia has been able to recruit a good number of community defense forces who are now able to defend their area under the direct supervision of the Somali National Army. His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and his Ugandan counterpart also discussed issues of mutual concern, including an upcoming conference of troop-contributing countries in Kampala, focusing on Somalia's fight against international terrorism. President Museveni thanked the visiting president for coming to Uganda and later bid him farewell back home.
Diana Kuti reporting there. Police have called upon the public to seek clarity over the court judgment against the Public Order Management Act before falling victim to unauthorized gatherings. The police spokesperson Fred Enanga told the media that Section 5 of the Act prohibits any gathering without seeking police permission.
The Constitutional Court quashed Section 5A and Section 10 of the Public Order Management Act of 2013 because they contravene other articles in the Constitution. Police calls upon the public to seek clarity before falling victims of unlawful assemblies.
Individuals and political groups should know that although it's a fundamental right to peacefully assemble, they also have a duty to inform the police as per the requirements of Section 5 about the date, time, details of the organizers, the location and consent of the venue owner, number of persons expected, purpose, and any other basic information.
The court judgment created clear boundaries on how security will enforce the act.
But again, it doesn't also mean that the police doesn't have powers to police or regulate unlawful assemblies. The law provides for the regulation of unlawful assemblies under the Penal Code Act, and for that matter, under Section 65, it still provides for what an unlawful assembly is, and therefore, we still have powers in place to disperse any unlawful assemblies and riots.
Meanwhile, in Jinja, police arrested 6 peer educators over suspected recruits of young boys into homosexuality.
The six suspects who were arrested from Mpomode zone in Jinja, we have Kalunji Fabian, 23-year-old, a peer educator. All these had traveled to Jinja to go and get involved in that criminal sexual network of recruiting and grooming young children. So we searched some of their homes. We got about 192 sackets of lubricants, shirts and flags with LGBTQ logos, metallic banners, and so.
In Kamwenge district, police arrested one, Junior Jackson, for sodomizing 8 pupils.
For the aggravated defilement and sodomy of 8 male pupils of Mirembe Primary School who are aged between 7 and 15 years. The suspect, who has a garden of guavas, would lure the victims to his home using guavas and would thereafter cause them to enter into the house and then sexually molest them.
Security appeals to parents and guardians to be conscious about free scholarship recruitment in communities due to the increasing unscrupulous people recruiting juveniles into illegal practices. Abdul Nasser Lubwama and Komagum Rogers for UBC.
Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development Judith Nabakova has halted any access and business on the contested land in Kansanga, Kabalagala and Chibiri as her office investigates the matter. She was intervening in land disputes following reports of unrest arising from uncertainty in ownership.
Following reports of violence arising from land disputes in Kansanga and Kabalagala, Muyenga, Kampala, Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has intervened in the matter. Upon arriving in the area, Mr. Nabakova was briefed.
The police
Mr. Nabakova thereafter advised all parties to stay away from the disputed land as she engages State House and Corruption Unit and other bodies.
I have instructed all activities to cease activities that were taking place on this land because it is highly contested. Let activities cease and let State House and Corruption and Police Land Protection investigate this matter.
According to the minister, it is after conclusive investigations that a final decision will be taken.
Because we need to know the titles, how they were got, if there was fraud, then we need to look at the issue of illegal eviction, what was the status, before now clearing this area, and maybe probably we shall look at the documents from both sides, the Mutabingwa and then these other members of the family.
Mr. Nabakova directed police to take over the premises, making private players vacate.
We are a government. There is government which is in control, and we have agencies of government that are mandated to protect lives and property. Why should we have the chiefesses around? And those people who hire faces, smart faces, they should stop. Because for us, we are going to arrest whoever is found on a piece of land, like acting like a chiefess, manya panga, having sticks, no.
From here, the minister also rushed to Chibiri in Kasangati, Wakiso district, to resolve a land dispute between the church, school and locals.
Mama wange yembera je tulimu singa abantu bano bahona lingenda gano ne bava wali ne baddawo kati bano batundawo.
The matter has also been pending for years amidst chaos.
This matter was reported to then Kasangati RDC Mbabazi 2019 and as of now the matter is under investigation by the Land Task Force of the President headed by Brigadier Mchamuzi.
Waitawo emyezi 3 mama twalaba omusumba yaliwo Reverend Vega Gwena Sikira yalaba machines na majambia na migo ne basaawo ekintu okuva emmanga olusuku olwali emmanga olutandise okussa mpaka eno yonna waggulu.
Minister further condemned hooliganism and guided the community.
Bagambye ababettaka bali mu gavumenti batya banya muboogere n'ebifo bye balina mu gavumenti abazire muboogere n'ebifo bye balina omanyi n'abopposition bayinza okukozesa ebigambo ebyo okwonoona gavumenti kubanga bwe badda abopposition mulaba tulwanirira ababettaka ba gavumenti name them wano wa gavumenti ki akola mu office ki abettaka.
In the wake of such instance, the Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba reminds all resident district commissioners about the President's directive which vested powers into their hands to handle land matters. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, Forum for Democratic Change Party, FDC, does not approve of the notice that went in the media where the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, Michael Atingyego, announced that Ugandan currency notes will start bearing his signature. While addressing the press in their weekly media briefing, the Deputy FDC spokesperson, John Kikonyogo, said that this will contravene the constitution that states that the authority of Bank of Uganda comes from the board of directors who are headed by the governor. Now, the party is concerned that 1 year after the demise of the bank governor, the president has not yet appointed a governor of the central bank, which is affecting its operations. Take a watch.
As FDC, we believe this is unconstitutional because the legal tender of the country must be signed by the substantive governor, not acting governor. To look at Article 151 of the Constitution, clauses 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is clearly stipulated that the authority of Bank of Uganda shall be vested in a board consisting of governor, deputy governor, and not more than 5 members. And it is clearly stated in there that the board shall be incomplete where the governor is in absence. As they are not agreeing on a number of issues. And when they don't agree, you know what it means to our economy. These people are the custodian of our monies. They are in charge of our fiscal policy. They control the banks. They control the interest rates. So if there's any problem there, automatically it will trickle down to us. So as FDC, we need a quick explanation on why you don't have a governor today. Secondly, why does the deputy governor arrogate himself powers to sign on our legal tender?
The Deputy FDC spokesperson Kikonyogo ending that report there. Now, State Minister for Primary Education Joyce Moriku Kaduchu has emphasized youth involvement in the journey to mindset revolution. Kaduchu maintains that the young people play a critical role as they are the primary drivers of mindset change through willingness to adopt new ideas and innovations. The minister was officiating the National Career Guidance Day at Kololo Independence Grounds that focused on mindset revolution.
State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, has stressed the importance of youth's involvement in the drive to mindset change.
We must, number one, involve them as the change agent. We must involve the young people in the process of change agent. Without them, we cannot change them. So they must be the first people to be recruited in the process so that they are able to speak to their colleagues. We are looking at the character of a person. We are looking at ultimately fundamental change in the way this person look at things, the perception. So it's not just one day process, it's a long process. So for that matter, it's a collective responsibility.
Kaduchu challenges parents to play the modeling role since children imitate what they see and hear.
We need to embrace positive parenting. if as parents we have not nurtured and molded these children properly, we cannot be able to produce a better result.
Collaboration between government and private sector is key in enabling young people realize their abilities and empowering them to be creative.
Start involving more private sector actors like ourselves to know that we are here to supplement on what they're doing. We are not fighting the government, we are not against it, and we can, and to the private sector, we also need to change our mindset to stop imagining that the government is against us.
Mentoring youngsters should be incorporated in school learning at the early stages of school, thus enabling them grasp the concepts with fresh minds.
We need to teach the youth independence. Sadly, on a large scale, no one is coming to help. We need to give them the tools to help themselves.
Every youth out there, every student out there, to lend themselves towards agroforestry, to agriculture skills. Do what you can, assist yourself, learn some basic agriculture skills.
Miriam Umcha, UBC News.
To the courts of law now, where High Court Civil Division has set the 25th of April 2023 as date to resume with the case filed by vendors of Makerere against Makerere University. The case is before Judge Boniface Wamala, where Makerere business vendors want court to stop Makerere University from evicting them from the university premises.
Last year, vendors operating business within Makerere University premises under their umbrella Makerere Business Owners Association Limited filed a suit against university, challenging its decision of evicting them from operating within the campus premises. The case is in High Court Civil Division before Judge Boniface Wamala. The parties in this matter have filed their submissions. In a letter issued by Makerere University Council on 1st July 2022, all vendors and business owners conducting business within the university premises were asked to immediately vacate.
We presented our submissions. Also, the Makerere people presented their submissions. Because when I use the word terminate, it means there was a relationship between the person terminating and the person who is being terminated. Our prayers simply are to sound itself that you can't wake up and tell a person who holds a business in your premises and you tell him go away. That means that one who has been preparing porridge to serve students should power it away.
The letter also highlighted that the vendors operating within the campus premises do not relate to the campus core functions.
Because someone has been in your premises for 30 years, it's not something small that you wake up in the wee hours and tell him go away. Because these people, the business they are doing, they are benefiting students directly. I don't think a student does not need a canteen. So if you chase away canteen, are you saying that students should walk out of classroom and they go, the lecture rooms and they go to one day get photocopy? What is the reason you are chasing away photocopying machine? I don't think photocopying machine is a welding business. That it makes noise when they are photocopying, students cannot settle. And I don't think when a cooking stove is preparing, they are preparing porridge, I don't think that porridge will be, I don't see the sanity. In what context?
However, last year, court issued a temporary injunction halting Makerere University from evicting the vendors until the final determination of the main suit. Court will resume on 25th April 2023 for further hearing of the matter. Meanwhile, Law Development Center Court, before Magistrate Chiria Samuel, has released on a cash bail of 100,000 shillings each to 10 National Unity Platform supporters. Sureties for the accused have been bonded 2 million non-cash each.
The defense has internalized the sureties and she has said that they are substantial, and in light of the above, therefore, I am satisfied that they are capable of ensuring the attendance of the accused persons and also to meet the bail terms, if any, that can be set by this honorable court.
The 10 are facing one count of incitement to violence, to which they pleaded not guilty. Prosecution in this matter is represented by State Attorney Patricia Okilol. The accused presented 2 sureties each for court to grant them bail.
Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
21 minutes after 10 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break and return with much more.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is our family's pride, and as her father, I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Tecno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha! Towakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100 *5 hash to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Tecno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Tecno. Stop at nothing.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the World Bank will host a public launch and dissemination of the Public Investment Financing Strategy, PIFS, on Tuesday, 21st of March 2023 at Sheraton Hotel, Kampala. The guest of honor will be the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Matia Kasaija. The PIFS aims to establish robust and sustainable financing mechanisms for the achievement of the Third National Development Plan by involving alignment of financing options to suitable government programs, minimizing the cost and risk exposure of financing modalities, and leveraging additional financing from traditional and other innovative sources to meet the increasing development requirements. It also provides a framework for partnerships with the private sector in implementation and financing of the public investment programs. The launch will provide a platform for stakeholders including high-level government officials, development partners, civil society, and the private sector to engage and discuss how to successfully implement the PIFS and achieve its objectives. The event will be a hybrid with an in-person attendance by invitation. All other participants are invited via Zoom and live on NBS television. For more information and to confirm your participation, please contact the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development on
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185 hash and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is UBC News with me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Persons living with disabilities have celebrated the Disability Awareness Day with a call of robust access to treatment care and access to HIV education. The Executive Director to Naweza Foundation, Victoria Nalule, asked government to intentionally ensure that health facilities get interpreters for proper services. Sudat Kaye reports.
Persons living with disabilities have been identified as persons with a high vulnerability to HIV due to lack of proper sensitization. This has been disclosed during celebrations of the Disability Day, where they echoed the need of diversity and inclusion in different places.
In the fight of HIV and AIDS, we are calling upon the government to come out strongly and ensure we do have sign interpreters in all the hospitals, private, but then also government, but then also in the universities.
According to TASO Uganda, 13,000 people living with disability in Kampala and Wakiso are HIV positive.
And of these, 64% are females and 36% of these are male. You wouldn't fail to mention the different barriers we go through as people with disability. Talk about the physical and architectural barriers, talk about technological barriers, organizational barriers, and then attitudinal barriers.
The Dean of Students, Makerere University, Winfred Kabumbuli, expressed the need for inclusive health care to persons living with disabilities.
Health care for persons with disabilities is inclusive. They face barriers when it comes to access to health care services, and usually we tend to forget this category of people.
Bridget Kobusinje, a minister for PWDs at Makerere University, said there is need to have sign language interpreters for students with hearing impairment.
We have University Hospital here in Makerere, but the main issue we face is that if a deaf student has no interpreter, they will not get helped.
Persons living with disabilities asked for community engagement so as to have meaningful and dignified work to access employment, education.
About MasterCard Foundation, you say it is only focusing on Makerere University. What about other universities? Talk about business school there.
Now, as a foundation, we always remind persons with disability that you should focus on your education, you should focus on your health, and we also go ahead to advocate for inclusive education in different schools.
The Disability Awareness Day climaxed the President's emergency plan for AIDS relief to Tunaweza Foundation Uganda. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
A minister for Kampala, Hajat Misa Kawanda, has urged Muslim schools to keep Islamic teachings in order not to be taken by homosexuals. This was during the 19th annual Inter-Muslim Schools Association of Kampala competition at the Islamic University in Uganda Female Campus, Kaboja.
Minister for Kampala, Hajat Misa Kawanda, has advised female students to concentrate on their education since they are still in school. She also urged Muslims to keep their children in Islamic schools in order to fight against homosexuals.
And according to research, this lesbian, homosexual is not so common in Islam. So at least we are still strong. So continue being strong. Don't practice the lesbianism, don't practice homosexual, don't practice heterosexual, because it's useless, it's harmful, it's haram. The sick fear, you are going to be with all sexually transmitted diseases, cancer, and other things. I encourage that whenever you go to a Muslim school, I always tell people, you cannot be with the Quran here, then you start going for sex. I think let's respect our religion. I have to tell you that when you go for other sex, you predispose yourself to HIV, gonorrhea diseases, and cancer of the cervix, or cancer of the uterus. So, not until you are married should you go for.
The Deputy Academic Registrar IUIU, Sumala Mohammed, said this competition helps students to showcase their talent.
The activities have been interactive. They give opportunity to these young men and women to express themselves and, of course, show their talents. We thought it is a very important activity that students are given opportunity to show talents. And it's very important, especially for the Muslim community, where we thought that there should be an alternative. If you don't want students to go to discos, you don't want them to go to other activities, perhaps contrary to the Islamic teaching, you have to give an alternative.
Some of the students expressed their feelings after being awarded trophies and gifts.
Position we have Medina Islamic Secondary School.
A one-day Muslim students competition on the theme, The Youth, the Strength of Uganda, attracted over 50 schools and over 550 students to compete in Quran recitation, science and technology, Islamic educative poems, magazine designing, public speaking and adhan.
Religious and traditional leaders in Acholi sub-region are calling for unity with political leaders. The religious leaders say disunity among political leaders is the cause of underdevelopment of northern Uganda.
A concerted effort between religious leaders and politicians will tighten policy issues that develop areas. This is what has lagged northern Uganda. The retired bishop of the Anglican Church, Henry Lou Korombi, wants politicians and appointed leaders serving in Acholi sub-region to embrace humility and the spirit of unity.
If there are older leaders, please mentor the upcoming leaders. And if you are an upcoming leader and you really want to grow, lean on the shoulder of somebody who has known a little more than you are. In that case, we know not everybody has everything. Those who have can give to those who don't have, and it can only be possible when you're working together, holding our hands together.
Here, a section of politicians opened up to religious leaders accusing each other of sentimental utterances that cause hatred and division due to the selfish political interests.
But as leaders of Acholi, we have never allowed our people to rest and rehabilitate. We have made the community restless by spitting a lot of toxic and disunity words to the community. We have been too sentimental in our statements to the local community, and we are full of lamentation to the general masses that we lead.
Gulu City RCC Jane Francis Okili advised prominent politicians not to sabotage development programs in the region.
The Bible says, my people perish because of ignorance. Now, who are the people who are supposed to tell these people the truth? Who are the people who are supposed to direct these people? If the directors are deceiving them, then they continue being ignorant. If we walk the talk, then Acholi will develop.
Meanwhile, the paramount of Acholi Chiefdom, Lord David Donen, said Acholi land is gifted with wealth and political leaders must mobilize communities in fighting poverty.
Officials from the World Bank have commended the government of Uganda for good performance in infrastructure development and improving livelihoods in refugee hosting districts. They were inspecting projects in Chiriandongo ahead of project closure in December. The project, funded by the World Bank under the Development Response to Displaced Impact Projects, has constructed schools, health facilities and road networks in the 15 refugee hosting districts.
Development Response to Displaced Impact Projects, known as Dr. DEEP, was rolled out 5 years ago to improve access to basic social services, expand economic opportunities and enhance environmental management for refugee hosting communities and settlements. Schools, health facilities, staff quarters and roads have been constructed on top of livelihood and environmental interventions.
Great impact in the schools, because then the teacher-pupil ratio was about 1 to 84, but now it has reduced to 1 to 56. You'll find that the classrooms which were constructed are very beautiful. There was environmental support where the schools were green. So the whole environment is very conducive. The classrooms are smart with good furniture. Our children are able to sit in a spaced manner, and when they sit in those comfortable desks, they are able to concentrate, and because of that, there has been a great improvement in our performance. For so many years past, Kiryandongo this time was the second in the region, next to Hoimas.
The World Bank is funding the projects. During a field visit in Kiryandongo district, the World Bank country manager with the regional task force team from Nairobi, Kenya, held the works.
That we've seen very efficient use of financing, complementarity in the way that projects which have been started with support from several partners have come together and looked for additional financing to fill in the gaps. So it's not as though they have been trying to duplicate what was already there, but to build on what is there and to make them more effective in delivering the results.
Their way in life. So I think what we've seen is that the quality of the project has been really impressive. The very good quality infrastructure, whether it's the health centre or the staff quarters for the doctors, which are really important to attract medical staff and to keep them in remote locations. So that we're really happy with. I think we can see as well that where the project has been investing is really consistent with what the communities need to meet their basic needs, whether it's education for their children, healthcare for their families.
The director, Dr. Deep, Dr. Robert Limlim, says the projects have impacted on the beneficiaries and appeals for more financing to roll out phase 2 of the project.
We have evaluated the project. We have also sat with leaders. We have sat with communities. Every one of us is convinced that this project is very impactful, and therefore, because of being impactful at the service delivery level, the number of health facilities, the number of education facilities put in, the changes that have happened in education and health, roads and water, as well as livelihood. It is all our conviction that with this momentum, we must tackle whatever is left to be done. And there is a lot of gap in all these areas, and this gap can only be fixed by getting another phase of Dr. Deep. And we are so happy that this feedback has been consolidated.
The 5-year project ends in December this year. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kiryandongo.
Some rather sad news from Chikube, where a Buchida evictee in Chikube district is stuck with the dead body of a 3-year-old baby girl who succumbed to diarrhea. When the child's situation deteriorated, she was taken to Chikube Health Center 4, where she was pronounced dead.
The parents of the deceased have nowhere to bury the body since they were evicted from their land in Bukinda.
I have been officially informed that one of the IDP at my office is dead. I don't know what has caused the death. I don't know what we are going to do because those people have nowhere to go. I even don't know where we are going, where the family is planning to take the body for burial. The last time someone died, at least they were able to take to Rugangaisi. Now this one I don't know.
Nestori Tumwesije, Changwari Sub-County District Councillor, has called on the concerned authorities to effect the 2016 directive by His Excellency the President to take them back to their ancestral land.
Now 1 year and some months at the office of the RDC, awaiting the implementation of presidential directives, but all in vain. The challenge we have the issue of we have no medicine. People are falling sick. others are producing from there, others are dying. Even today, one has died. But the challenge we always get, where to bury such a people.
The evictees are calling upon government to ensure that they are taken back to their land.
They did not resettle us. If they had resettled us, they would be having a resettlement plan. Have they given you a copy of the settlement plan? And on whose land? How did it cost?
In 2013, over 8,000 people from 1,889 homesteads in 28 villages of Kasonga Parish, Changwari Sub-County in Chikube District were evicted by the Office of the Prime Minister, accusing them of settling on the Changwari Refugee Settlement Camp land illegally.
We'll now take yet another short break and return with the latest in business.
Jerry con! Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry con with muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa! Best movies I teach you. When I'm going to the Muscari, because of the camera is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs. And you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru. And Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, wait. Jerry car.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're descending into Entebbe Airport. For those proceeding to Kampala City, the biggest event in East Africa is in town.
That's right. The East African Business Expo 2023 is happening from the 23rd to the 26th of March at Kololo Grounds. Join us to network, connect, and grow. Contact us for exhibition or sponsorship opportunities. The 14th East African Procurement Forum and Business Expo 2023 is hosted by PPDA.
Now sit back and relax. It's time to explore great business opportunities.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. The Consulate General of the Republic of Uganda in Guangzhou has partnered with Kingbridge, a law firm in Guangzhou, to provide free legal services to Ugandan businessmen doing business in China. Consul General Ambassador China Judith Nsabavera says the law firm will provide Ugandans with relevant information to mitigate the challenges they face while doing business in China and solving fraud cases. The legal aid follows the recent reopening of China after the COVID-19 pandemic. Joseph reports.
COVID-19 pandemic, the Ugandan business community who live and trade in China faced challenges to access goods and services, and some faced fraud cases. The Consulate General of the Republic of Uganda in Guangzhou Embassy has partnered with the Kingbridge law firm in Guangzhou to provide free legal services to the Ugandan business fraternity in China.
So we partnered with Kingsbridge Law Firm, a law firm with over 1,000 lawyers who specialize in so many different areas, which include the visa situation for our diaspora community, business import and export. We have a community that wants to start to tap into this opportunity to bring products into China tariff-free. So for them to understand how do those products qualify to be tariff-free.
During a business facilitation symposium for Ugandans doing and intending to do business in China, Kingbridge Law Firm in Guangzhou pledged legal assistance to the Ugandans doing business in China.
And with the support of the Uganda Consulate General, with the support of the Ambassador Judith, and we are planning to set up the Public Legal Service Center for Uganda community. especially for the legal issues. And we're going to do and supporting the Uganda community by the below measures. The first is that we're going to provide the new government policy and laws and regulations to the Uganda community, and also including the business information, some opportunities. From there, our Uganda community, they can learn and how to find their business opportunity, especially in China market. And second, we're going to offer the free consultation or advice to the Uganda community concerning some legal issues.
I also want to thank Kingbridge Law Firm again.
Ambassador Nsabavera thanked Kingbridge Law Firm for the collaboration and support to African community in Guangzhou.
The last 3 years have been extremely difficult for our business community. And with the reopening of China, we thought that it was the right time to be able to have a symposium where we could engage with our diaspora community, who we don't take very lightly because of their contribution to our national development, and our business community in Uganda, who wanted to understand how to better, one, rectify some of the issues that they faced during the 3 years of not being able to come to China. So we're excited. We're happy that the Canton Fair is starting April 15th and goes on for the next 3 weeks. So we want people to understand what information do I need to be to take advantage of the opportunity that China has to offer. So thank you so much, and we look forward to engaging. Please feel free to reach out to the Consulate of Guangzhou if you have any questions.
Ugandans need to look for untapped opportunities for trade, sale of Ugandan products to China, and transfer appropriate technologies. Joseph Buule, UBC.
The State House Emyooga Monitoring Unit has arrested SACCO leaders in Budaka and Chibuku districts in Bukedi sub-region, accusing them of misusing Emyooga funds. The unit, led by the National Coordinator of Emyooga, Rita Namwenge, emphasized that the monitoring is looking at mismanagement of Emyooga money, as we hear in this story.
Government released Emyooga funds to enable low-income earners change their livelihoods, but some SACCO leaders have misused it. The State House Emyooga Monitoring Unit is monitoring Emyooga performance. In Bukedi region in Ikiki constituency, the Fishermen SACCO, which received 15 million, is doing well, and the chairperson applauds government for the support.
We thank the government for investing a seed capital into the fishermen. We are excited.
However, when the monitoring unit visited fish ponds, members of the SACCO pinned the chairperson for taking all powers that forced other members to quit.
You give me some money to come and distribute to people, I will first apportion it.
The unit team leader directed chairperson to produce accountability of the SACCO, which he failed, and was detained at Budaka Central Police Station. In Chibuku district, the committee found Women's SACCO has no offices but operating at someone's home, and members borrow money but do not want to pay back.
Of them are not well versed or well educated with this program, as in how to return this money.
The committee was directed at a funeral where some members who took money and failed to pay back were attending and arrested. Locals also supported the committee's decision to deal with persons who misuse government funds. Suspects were arrested and detained at Chibuku police station. Bukedi region Emyooga coordinator Musa Nyaribi explains the cause of poor performance of SACCOs in the region.
I think the SACCO leaders had not gotten what we had trained them to do as leaders in their respective SACCOs.
These that received this money, some of them used it and the projects are there and they are visible, but some others have failed to pay, actually for a period of up to 2 years.
The national coordinator of Emyooga, Rita Namwenge, condemned some leaders who also misuse Emyooga funds.
Whoever is there and obtained money by false pretense from these Emyooga people in the name of very influential people, we shall come for you Emyooga must work, and all people who have a hand in defrauding or stealing it are going to be put to book.
The unit is still touring regions to assess the performance of Emyooga funds. I'm Navka Farida and Andrew Sebira.
Now, the Ministry of Works and Transport is set to open 5 more driving licensing centres in the country. This was revealed by officials from the Ministry of Works and Transport at the launch of the mobile licensing system in Lira City. Eddie Olwa gives us more.
And mark the official launch of this.
A mobile driving licensing system has been launched in Langos Region. Ministry of Works and Transport runs 7 driving licenses issuing centres located in Kampala, Arua, Mbale, Gulu, Mbarara and Fort Fotol.
And mark the official launch of this.
Motorcycle riders and drivers took to the streets of Lira City to express their joy to the government of Uganda. The Ministry of Works and Transport is in Lira to enroll those intending to acquire and renew driving licenses.
We were really been getting a lot of challenges in getting the permit because it wasn't so close to us. It had been in Gulu, very far from us. It had been in Kampala, had been in Mbale and Arua.
Actually, we used to spend a lot of money going to Gulu, and there's a time I went to Gulu to renew my driving permits. The way I suffer there with anger, you cannot believe.
To get a driving permit. And know the challenge? You reach there is no network. You reach there, the banks are closed. You reach there, today we are not working. Public holiday. Some borders who have been going and bouncing there on a public holiday.
I need also to thank our leaders, Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng. I need also to thank the Minister of Transport and Works, Katuma Wamala, for our request for bringing the services to Lira.
The Health Minister, also Lira City Woman MP, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, says the development will solve the inconveniences and financial losses among locals.
They have to look for resources to take them to Gulu. But today, now that we have this here in Lira City, it is a day of jubilation because it has cut costs of traveling to Gulu. It is also going to address the issue of conflicts with the traffic rules and regulations, but better still, it is going to boost the business and revenue collection.
Ministry of Works and Transport says there are plans to open more 5 permanent service centres in other districts.
To extend these services to the people, which we hope that by the end of this year, all this should be done. We have in plan that wherever there is a driving license office, we shall have a motor vehicle registration office and a PSV license office.
Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Thanks, Ola, for that story. We'll now take yet another break and return with sports.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Sports news now. And Uganda Cranes will this Friday play Tanzania in a 2023 Africa Cup of Nations Group F tie. It's a home game for Uganda, but played in Egypt due to lack of standard facilities here in the country. John Ban Sentamu reports.
The Uganda Cranes will, for the first time in recent times, be playing a home game away in Egypt.
This was an instruction that came in from CAF to say we cannot host from Uganda. We had to look for an alternative where the stadia within those countries have been approved to the standard of hosting a match that is categorized under classification A.
The team is in fact already settled in ahead of the Group F 2023 Africa Cup of Nations tie against Tanzania to be played in Ismailia.
There are about 3 parameters that FIFA considered. One was the technical. We are having players who are coming all over the world on the squad that needed a place where it could be very convenient to stage, camp within the few days that we have, and pull out a good, training and result.
They will miss the fans, but to ensure the boys aren't homesick, sponsors MTN Uganda has put aside a winning bonuses and reward for man of the match, plus 5 million shillings for miscellaneous.
Incentive is on winning, okay, and winning only. Okay, the incentive is 1.5 million to 15 players and 2 million for the man of the match. The man of the match can only be possible, it has to be a Cranes, okay. It is on the voting, okay, so it's basically the spectator's choice, okay. So this is what we have agreed with FIFA. I know there are many more players, okay. This is, as I said, this is just a warm-up, okay, and we are starting from somewhere, okay. We will be here in this game for at least the next 5 years, okay, for which we have now partnered with FIFA. Of course, we would want to continue even further. Okay, so this is just the beginning.
Ugandans will also get a chance to view the game this Friday on giant screens at central locations, especially around Kampala.
We are going to actually host and hold live streaming of the matches in the old taxi park. So my request to every Ugandan, come and join us on 24th, okay, at the old taxi park, and let us come with all your whistles, come with your vuvuzelas, come all decked up in the jerseys of the Uganda Cranes, and let us watch, okay, the match with Tanzania together.
Bottom-placed Uganda and Tanzania are in Group F alongside table toppers Algeria that play Niger this Thursday. After this clash in Egypt, the two teams will face off again in 4 days in Tanzania. The top 2 teams from each of the 12 groups will earn a berth at the belated 2023 Africa Cup of Nations to be hosted by Ivory Coast next January. John Barnes, Sentamu, UBC News.
Tennis now, and the second leg of the Ugandan National Tennis Championship returned on Sunday, the 20th of March 2023, with over 12 games played at the Makerere tennis courts. The leg that was interrupted last weekend because of heavy rains bounced back in style, with players bringing on the heat in each game. Take a watch.
The most intense match of the day was between Alison Comfort and Gal Aurora, which ended 6-4, 6-4 in favor of Alison. Aurora put up a great fight, hitting back at the served balls and maintaining a steady pace, but it was Alison's clinical serves that gave her an edge. In the other games, Frank Tayeba beat Joel Mwisike 6-1, 6-2. Winnie Birungi beat Eseza Mwanguzi 6-0, 6-3. Trevor Kaziwe beat Paul Sekandi 6-1, 6-3. Frank Agonzebwa beat Bob Masiko 6-1, 6-2. And under 16 star Troy Adrian Ziwa beat Hafiz Abdallah 6-3, 6-4.
It was good. It was close. I got a little nervous, but I did it and I closed it, so I'm happy with that.
It's about my consistency. If I was more consistent, I'm sure I would have played much better and maybe I would have even won the match. So I'll focus on my consistency and maybe next time I win.
My match was a little bit tough. I didn't do well today, I lost my match. I think I would have hit more good serves, but I hit a lot of double faults today. I didn't attack short balls well. I hit a lot of balls out and in the net. I think things didn't go well today, but hopefully next week I think I'll come back strong.
We're very fortunate that we have had an opportunity to have such an event, and it's really helping us so much that we are playing so many matches. We are playing the round robin. We are playing in 2 groups. We have Group A and B of 8 people, and we're playing so many matches that are really helping us to improve as players.
The organizers so far say they need more support to get the most out of the championship.
So the championship is still in its infancy,
and just in its second year, and just like any other initiative, we are still struggling with so many things like organizations. We lack some funds to run some activities. Actually, right now we don't have a sponsor, and we are actually appeal to all of you guys to join us in the sponsorship. But yeah, we're looking funds to run the championship and a few other items like balls and the courts and all that to grow the sport.
The third leg of the championship will be played on Sunday, 26th March 2023. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
It is exactly 11 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. We'll finally come to this second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 20th day of March 2023. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. Now, top stories tonight. Police advises the public on court judgment against the Public Order Management Act. Lands and Housing Minister Judith Nabakoba intervenes in Kansanga and Chibiri land wrangles. FDC opposes decision of Bank of Uganda Deputy Governor signature on currency notes. And in sports, Uganda's men cricket team races to their second tour win against hosts Qatar. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rokidi Edward Kijanangoma. Wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Chillax bundles from Airtel have been upgraded. Introducing Voice Chillax bundles. No validity, no expiry, no worries. Dial *100*1#, select voice bundles and choose your preferred Voice Chillax bundle today. Talk longer with loved ones across Uganda with Voice Chillax bundles that don't expire. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Fish Farming Expo and Training.